This is the future.
Today is May 24th, 2023. It is 9:44 a.m. I don't normally record around this time. So on today's video, what I want to do is focus on CAMFED in Africa. This is one of the charities someone have mentioned in the comment section about CAMFED and I think Homeboys Industries, some other charities that I missed on the original list. So far, my list is put on the back burner since these charities were like the very first few charities I was introduced to, and then the person mentioned it on the comment section, so I thought I covered them first. Okay, so let's go to let's go to this one because I wanted to give a small background about CAMFED based on how I was aware of it. I was only aware of it because of Meghan and Harry, who had supported them. And then I remember, I don't know if it was 2019 or 2020, one of those years, the squad did fundraising for Archie's birthday, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because I remember doing a video about it, showing some tweets and in a form of music videos on PYTE channel, how much money the squad have raised for CAMFED. So that I remember, but I wanted to go further back, give my input, how I was aware of it, and how the connection between CAMFED and Archewell. Well, I will not say Archewell because Archewell was not Archewell existed before that. Let's go to the website. Okay, let me not pick my brain and waste time. Okay, so we're gonna start with this. Okay, quote, "No better way to celebrate what really matters. Thanks to everyone who donated, Harry and Meghan." Okay, so I was gonna say something. Yeah, let's read that. By 8 p.m. Central Africa time on September 15, supporters from around the world had raised enough to invest in just over 56 young women to complete 1 year of technical or vocational training in a field of their choice, from engineering to journalism, teaching to agriculture. Then, at 8:30 p.m., came the thrilling news that Harry and Meghan will match this outpouring of support with their own donation. It means that 113 young women will be able to pursue higher education opportunities. These young women will gain the skills they need to get a job or start a business, build independent lives with choice and agency, and work together to support the next generation of girls in rural Africa. Okay, there's Harry with them here. Okay, so Prince Harry with CAMFED Association leaders in Malawi. Okay, quote, "We are absolutely thrilled that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have chosen to make this inspiring match on Prince Harry's birthday." Okay, so that was the one, Harry's birthday. That's why I was a little bit clouded over there. All right, on Harry's birthday, acknowledging the power of community and rallying support for girls' education and women leadership, both Harry and Meghan believe deeply in delivering social justice and have used their platform, including as president and vice president of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. So that's why, see, Archewell was not there yet. I don't think they had left the UK yet. Meanwhile, they were going to their own little personal thing. To ensure young women from disadvantaged backgrounds are seen and heard on the global stage and their leadership acknowledged and nurtured. In these difficult times, seeing individuals, champions, and partners rally around CAMFED's motto make us even more determined to ensure that all girls can go to school, learn, thrive, and lead. Okay, so that's from Angeline Muramira, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, and Lucy Lake, CAMFED co-executive. All right, so there's a video here. You could go, it seems like it's a YouTube video. You could go and listen to it. Okay, Fatima, a CAMFED Association leader who met with Prince Harry at event organized by Queen's Commonwealth Trust and Lusaka, Zambia, and Lilongwe, Malawi, recorded this special message for his birthday. She is training to be a teacher and is just one example among thousands of young women can achieve with support beyond secondary school. Both the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have met with CAMFED's young women leaders in Zambia and Malawi, respectively, during the fundraiser. Some very difficult names to pronounce. Tsazienji from Zambia and Fatima from Malawi share leadership updates and birthday messages with Harry and Meghan. Alright, so this link will be in the description. You could still donate. Alright, so I will come back to the main page. I sort of arrange it the way that I want to sort of share it with you. So I came across this People magazine article. I started reading it, but I'm not gonna read all of it. I'm just gonna go to the part that I feel that sort of associate with what I'm looking for. All right, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's charity unveiled a prize-winning special garden to support girls' education. The garden just won a gold medal at the prestigious Chelsea Flower Show. I became aware of Chelsea Flower Show. I was doing one video and I stumbled on something where Harry had done a show for himself. He did it himself. I don't remember what it was and if he won or anything like that, but I remember the Queen came to see his design and all of that. And some of the thing that I said on that video is that he was putting his hand on almost everything and see whatever fits. All right, so that's that. So I don't know why they put Kate in this, but I'm gonna start in the second paragraph. The campaign for female education, CAMFED, which has become closely associated with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, won a gold medal for its garden at the show. All right, so they keep on inserting her here. I don't want to read that. It's distraction. Okay, designer Giuliani Richard based her garden on the story of a girl named Beauty from rural Zimbabwe whose parents died when she was 14. As the eldest in the family, she was left to raise her 6 siblings. Oh my goodness, 6 siblings. At the back of the garden is a schoolroom complete with typical traditional board games made from wood and beans used as counters, with vegetables like pumpkin, aubergine, and okra growing in the red soil, which was used to conjure up the look of Zimbabwe's ground and signify the work that Beauty had to do to help support her family. Very interesting. Okay, so the link of this will be in the description. All right, so there's a picture of Meghan, but let's go into CAMFED website the way that I usually do. All right, support girls to learn, thrive, and lead change. CAMFED catalyzes the power of the most vulnerable girls and young women to create the future they imagine for themselves, for their communities, and for Africa. All right, so let's see some more here. Education is a fundamental right and a matter of justice. Girls' education and women's leadership are also to tackle our most pressing global challenges. Together we can ignite the world-changing power of girls' education. All right, so pretty much in a nutshell, CAMFED is there to help build young women, okay, give them education, all the support that they need to pretty much be self-sufficient. All right, so I see some stuff down here. Women leadership, social justice, that remind me of Homeboy Industries, economic development, climate action. Okay, anything else? Are you a game changer? All right, so let's see here. Who are we? Let's go to that. Who are we? CAMFED is a Pan-African movement revolutionizing how girls' education is delivered through a gold standard system of accountability to the young people and communities we serve. We have created a model that radically improves girls' prospect of becoming independent, influential women. Okay, we're a Pan-African grassroots-led movement tackling poverty, inequality, and injustice through girls' education and women's leadership. Our focus is on girls and young women in rural areas of sub-Saharan Africa. This is where girls face acute disadvantage and where their empowerment is having a transformative impact. We are accountable first and foremost. There's an airplane. We are accountable first and foremost to each individual girls we serve. We see the world from her perspective and dismantle the social and financial barrier that keep her from developing her full potential. Through our CAMFED Association, women are leading action on the big challenges their countries face. Okay, so there's other things that they're sharing, like there's here video transcript. If you want to know more about it, just go onto the website and check it out. Okay, let's see here who we are. What else? Oh, I thought there was another roll down thing here. Why girls education? Okay, let's go into that. Why girls education? Education is a fundamental right and a matter of justice. Girls education and women's leadership is also key to tackling our most pressing global challenges. As I'm reading this, one of the things that crossed my mind, we have the developed world, like America, and I believe in the UK too, because there are some libraries are being shut down and things like that. But in America, they're preventing people from reading certain books and all sort of things. All right, so right now the US is going through some issues right now. So we have the countries that CAMFED is supporting and elevating those young girls. It seems like the developing world is putting itself at a halt. Okay, at a halt, and meanwhile the undeveloped world, part of Africa and many part of other countries, many part of the world, is catching up to the developing world. So if, for instance, let's say America and the UK and any other, you know, developing world that's preventing of improving on knowledge, so Africa's gonna catch up. Okay, and then they're gonna get upset or jealous that certain group know more than the others. Meanwhile, they're failing to acknowledge what they're doing to themselves. Like America, for instance, right now they're preventing knowledge from developing, increase on what you already know and all of that. Instead, they're shutting down, letting the young kids, preventing them from learning. Okay, so that's that. Okay, education is not freely available to everyone, and in many parts of the world, girls are the first to be excluded from it. CAMFED believe that every child is entitled to a quality education in a safe environment, and so a life as an independent adult with access to education, women can do amazing things. One thing that I was thinking when I read this part here, where girls usually the one that they exclude from learning, but when you look at men, for instance, when they have the education, I'm not saying it's all, okay? There's always one, or at least, okay? Keep that in mind as I said this, so you don't think I'm generalizing everybody. But majority of time, men tend to think of themselves only, okay? They don't think, for instance, all right, I got my education. Okay, so let me help the left behind, my siblings or whatever. All right, so many of them don't usually do that. All right, so like I said, it's not everybody. As a matter of fact, I know a very young man who's from Cameroon, who was my roommate, and he was a professor. And when you know, he established himself and everything like that, he helped his sister and all of that. So I don't want to go too much into his business, but that's why I mean that it's not everybody. So personally, for a fact, I know of someone, a young man who, after he got his education, he helped the left behind. But there are some, a great majority, who are not like him, who once they get their education, they forget about the rest. And as a matter of fact, I know of someone who've done that. So there's that 50-50 that I'm talking about. Okay, so yeah, this one, it's the other example that I have is so negative I don't even want to go in full detail with it. All right, so that's that. Let's continue. The other part of this is that majority of time when young women get their education, they flourish, they establish themselves, majority of time they look back at the left behind one. They want to help others. They expand whatever it is that they already learned. They want to bring some along with them, unlike men. Okay, so that's that. Okay, let's continue. Launch climate smart businesses, become health workers, run schools, and lead government, making the world a better place for everyone. Poverty is the greatest barrier to accessing education. In sub-Saharan Africa, 32.6 million girls of primary and lower secondary school age are out of school. This number rises to 52 million when taking into account girls of upper secondary school age. All right, so they have a I'm assuming this is a statistic, probably. All right, yeah, there's the numbers to prove it. All right, let's look at this for instance. I'm not gonna go in full detail of all of that. Okay, there's a lot of things here, so let's look at global number of out of school children, adolescent, and youth 2000 to 2018. All right, so it declined from what year? 2000, yeah, and then it declined. All right, so all this will be in the description. All right, let's go back. So that was here, with million more at risk as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. All right, so go on the website, you could look more into those things. Okay, when family lack the income for food, transport, school fees, uniforms, and essentials like menstrual product, this is something that Meghan was involved in. Which country was that? Was it somewhere in India, where she helped no, that was for the well. Which one did she took, and then the kids did painting? I don't want to get confused, but there was a charity, I think it's in India. You guys could correct me, or when I'm editing I could look it up, where Meghan had helped a charity who had this issue with young girls who had, maybe it's CAMFED, I don't know, maybe it's CAMFED. All right, so let's continue. Girls are the first to drop out of school. They are the first to be failed by the system, facing the perils of early marriage, early pregnancy, and abuse without the choice to write their own futures. Their endless potentials is wasted. Invested in girls' education and young women's leadership is a proven way of improving the health and wealth of entire nation. And also one of the things that I'm thinking about is Oprah, the school that Oprah opened in South Africa. So that's another reason, I believe, okay, another reason, beside Mandela, gift to Mandela, is that she opened school because most of the time girls tend to not be selfish with whatever they were giving to. They spread the love in a way, to put it in simple terms. Okay, educating girls is the foundation for gender equity and social justice. Unlike women's leadership, for policy change that benefits everyone, there's the thing here, leads to healthier communities and nations, reducing maternal and infant mortality and malnutrition, stunning HIV/AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, reduces child marriage and gender-based violence. You know, as I read this, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking how, I mean, it's all over. It's all over. So if people don't stand up and put a stop to it, I'm thinking in terms of child marriages, and you have young kids giving birth and all of that. You have men who have already lived their lives, you know, spread themselves all over, but those young kids, those young women, you know, just starting their lives, and then they ruin their lives, you know, by forcing them to do things that they're not ready for. All right, so That's that. There needs to be education in men as well. School for men, for them to understand those basic aspects. Respect people's property, I would say, because your body is your property. This kind of thing, what not to do and how to approach. I mean, it's all over, all over. You cannot pinpoint just one place. It's all over, including in the US. All right, so that's that. Drives economic development, leading to higher productivity and income, tackling youth unemployment and instability, is one of the most effective ways of tackling climate change, because investing in girls' education is the foundation for female leadership for climate action, including in climate-smart agriculture, leading to better nutrition, increased resilience to climate shocks, reduce emission, and a more sustainable future for us all. As I'm reading this, when you look at third world countries, believe me, third world countries are not adding to, like, well, I will not say climate. I'll say pollution, like water pollution. They're not the one who's really doing that, because those products that usually ended up in the ocean, they usually come from other countries, you know, advanced countries. But one of the things that I mentioned it in one of my videos on Pure YTE, how a young entrepreneur, actually is a woman, I forgot which country she's from, I don't know if it's South Africa, where she used recycled materials to create bricks. Hopefully I found it, I could put the screenshot of it. So many of those third world countries are using those products, that those recycled products, and turn them into something else. So that's that. I don't know if I made my point, but okay. Oh, so there's more. There is more. When you educate a girl, everything changes. 90% educated women will reinvest. There's the thing that I was saying. Okay, let's see if I was right. I was just talking based on my humble opinion, but there's the statistic here. 90% educated women will reinvest 90% of their earnings back into their families, compared with 35% of men. That's the thing that I was saying, but there's the numbers that goes along with it. Okay, they'll invest in their children's education and support their studies. Clinton Global Initiative. Okay, 2 times women with a secondary school education will earn twice as much on average as women without an education. Lack of girls' secondary education cost countries between $15 and $30. Oh, wait. Between $15 and 30 trillion. Is it 30? Okay, 15 and $30 trillion and lost lifetime productivity and earnings. That's from World Bank. Okay, 3-time educated girls are up to 3 times less likely to become HIV positive and at reduced risk of malaria, UN AIDS gap report. Okay, what I think about this is that with education, where young women, some of them, you know, once they get their education, they don't have to sell their bodies, okay, to get some money. And then this is how the spread of AIDS sometimes, okay, a small portion of it will be spread, how they will get it. But now that they have the proper education, they don't need to sell their bodies to get some money. You know, they go to work, they earn a stable income, so they'll be okay. All right. 5-time girls secondary schools are 5 times less likely to marry as children compared to girls who have little or no education and have healthier family. Global Partnership for Education 2019. So that's where this came from. Okay, imagine you're a young girl in rural Africa. You went to primary school, love your lesson, and enjoy playing with your classmates, but when it was time to go to secondary school, you had to drop out. You may have lost one or both of your parents and are looking after younger siblings or helping out elderly grandparents. Your extended family does not have the money for school fees, food, uniform, or transport. You now have to work to earn money to help your family. And that's the thing, they're making the money is not even for them, it's for the rest of the family. Okay, you're vulnerable to abuse, exploitation, and early marriage, at risk of physical violence. As a matter of fact, before I even read physical violence, I was thinking walking to school alone sometimes is dangerous for these young girls, because you know young men stop them and do some advances on them that they're not looking for. All right, so that crossed my mind. HIV, AIDS, and that through that altercation, going to school sometimes that leads to AIDS and HIV, and serious complication during pregnancy and childbirth. Without education, you're denied the chance to fulfill your potential and break the cycle of poverty for good. Then imagine that CAMFED stepped in to support you. Okay, so what this paragraph did here is explain some of the issues that is happening in rural Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. All right, so they tell you that you started going to school, but somewhere down the line you either lost your parents, the money is not there anymore, it's cut short, you can't continue. So this is where CAMFED come in to help you continue with your education. Okay, selected by your community, you receive financial and social support to go to school, including mentorship by young women who know exactly what you're going through. Together, we dismantle the barriers to your education, partnering with parents, teachers, government officials, and traditional authorities to deliver your entitlements. The support is not a one-off injection of money, but a package that allows you to enroll in school, do well academically and socially, and maximize the value of your education after graduation. In other words, you have to work for it. Okay, you have to show you're interested in it, because there's a whole bunch of other kids who don't have it, so they don't just, I'm assuming, okay, this is where I answered my opinion here. You have to show you're interested in. It's almost like a grant or scholarship, this kind of thing. You have to show you want it in order for you to receive it. If you like so many young people in the US, they don't care about school. So these people, this grant will not go toward them. It will go to someone else who really needs it. Okay, so that's what I see of that. Okay, you become part of our sisterhood, the CAMFED Association of Women Leaders, and acquire the skills to start a business or apply for a job or further education. You decide if and when to marry and have children, and you reinvest in the community that nurtures you. Okay, discover the unparalleled return of investing in girls' education. So there's a video here. Oh, it's 21 minutes. I can't do that. Okay, it's probably on YouTube. So I think they have a YouTube channel. So go check their channels out and see what they're all about. But for now, let's keep it to what's on the website. Okay, watch our CAMFED 101 webinar with Angeline Morimira, CAMFED Executive Director, Africa, as one of the very first girls supported to go to secondary school by CAMFED in Zimbabwe. She is embodiment of the unparalleled return of investment in girls' education. Very interesting. So she was one of the students. So now she's working for CAMFED. That's very interesting. Okay, meet some of our clients and leaders. Okay, meet Fanny, a CAMFED client. One of millions of girls living in extreme poverty and childhood household. Fanny understands only too well the choice and opportunity education can afford. Now she's supported at secondary school. She's ready to shake up the world. Okay, so there's more about her. Meet Nimatu, a CAMFED association leader, supported by CAMFED to complete her education. Nimatu is now an inspirational leader and philanthropist in the CAMFED association. Through her Changemakers Girls Club, she mentors 60 girls at the only senior high school in her district. Very interesting. That's nice. Okay, so let's go back. All right, why girls education? I think I did I do this? Why girl education? Social justice. Let's see if there's some comparison with how do you call this, with homeboy industry. Even though it's completely different atmosphere, well, let's just see, because homeboy industry deal with people who's have issues with the law, but these are completely different atmosphere, plus different part of the world as well. So let's see here. Social justice starts with girls' education and is advanced by young women leaders working together for systems change. And equity and injustice prevail when children are denied their fundamental right to an education. Okay, I have to shake my head here, because when you look at in the United States, that was the whole point of things for education. One of the reasons why schools, public schools, are free, because education, it's what makes the world better. Okay, you don't repeat the same mistakes. But now you have a group of people coming and just shutting things down. I said some stuff in one of my videos regarding that. You know, it's like, please proceed, because at some point the people they were denying education, which is African American, at some point it will be reversed. Okay, like the when you see NAACP or homeboy industries that open up for, you know, the certain groups who were denying certain rights, okay, ended up in the system, or the system caught up with them, or their fundamental right were violated, you know, with NAACP and all of that, get involved. But once this change, where African American or other groups, not just African American, but other groups that were being denied right, but they're pushing to get education. Now, when they're holding office, because without education, you cannot be, let's say, I don't know, a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Because if you cannot read, you don't know the fundamental of things, how are you going to operate? So the thing will be reversed. Now, the group who's shutting things down right now, who thinks that they are hurting the lower minorities or something like that, okay, at some point, they will be the one who's going to need NAACP, homeboy industry, especially homeboy industry that provide all sort of things. And at the same token, I said they may not need NAACP, because majority of African American or minorities, they understand the pain that they went through. Most likely, if they are holding certain office or position, they will not inflict pain on you, unnecessary pain. They will try to help you which way they can, which means, like for instance, NAACP with the justice system and all of that may not be, I mean, it will be there, but I don't think you will need it, because the system will not be inflicting unnecessary pain to you, where you will need NAACP. This kind of thing. That was one thing that I was talking, I raised in one of my tweet videos. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, let's start this paragraph again. A girl excluded from school becomes a woman excluded from all sectors of society. She has no choice or say over her own body, her future, or the future of her family. She is excluded from taking part in professions or decision-making bodies that affect her life and well-being and her society at large. Okay, championing equity and social justice. CAMFED works with partners and communities to level the playing field and ensure women and girls can reach their full potential. So there's more here, and there's a video. If you go on their website, you could check it out. I believe that's a YouTube video here. Girls' education is at the heart of sustainable development. An educated girl knows how to access information and services. She has a say in the things that matter to her, her family, and her community. Girl education also opened the door to economic opportunities, to women's leadership and business, the public and private sector, and to climate justice. It's at the heart of sustainable development and lead to positive, lasting change for everyone. Yet, 95% of the most marginalized girls in sub-Saharan Africa never complete their secondary education, trapped in a cycle of poverty. While girls often start primary school on par with boys, more girls than boys tend to drop out of education as the year progresses. In Ghana, 13% more boys than girls complete upper secondary school, for example. In Zambia, the difference is 11% in boys' favor. Poverty is at the heart of multitude barrier. I'm sorry, there's a dog that's barking right now. It's not my dog. Oh my Lord. This is why I love to record in the middle of the night. Okay, poverty is at the heart of a multitude of barriers that push girls out of school or keep them from learning. All right, did I read that? Nope, that's different. In Zimbabwe, only 1% of the poorest children complete upper secondary school compared to 37% of the richest, for example. In Malawi, only 2% of the poorest children complete upper secondary school compared to 37% of the richest. In Tanzania, only 6% of the poorest children complete upper secondary school compared to 62% of the richest. Okay, the odds are stacked against girls from disadvantaged rural communities. Even before the COVID-19 pandemic, millions of girls in sub-Saharan Africa were out of school. Millions more are enrolled in school but not learning. CAMFED is working to change that. Wow. Okay. 90% of girls in the sub-Saharan Africa are unable to meet minimum proficiency standards in reading and math. Okay, UNESCO Institute for Statistics. That was back in 2017. Okay, 5% of the poorest girls in sub-Saharan Africa complete secondary school. Education Commission, the Learning Generation Report 2016. Okay, only 1 in 100 of the poorest rural girls in Malawi will complete their secondary education, with only 5% attending secondary schools in the first place. That's from Sub-Saharan Africa Secondary Education Challenge by 2020. Okay, when girls are educated, everyone wins. Girl with access. Did I read this already? She looks familiar. All right, when girls educated, everyone wins. Girls with access, equality, education gain decision-making power, can join the workforce and invest in their family's education. Yeah, I think I read that. If I didn't, okay, you go on their website and check it. All right. CAMFED partners with community advance social justice and system change. Okay, let's look into that. Okay, let's go back. I may not read everything, but just to give you an idea. All right, CAMFED partners with communities to advance social justice and system change. By educating girls and supporting young women into independence and leadership, we are igniting a movement of expert and delivering social justice. Our women leaders in the CAMFED Association complete school against great odds. They have an intimate understanding of the challenges girls and young women in their communities face, and work with school parents and local and national government officials to devise solutions, building an ecosystem of support around vulnerable children. As those once excluded from education take up positions of influence in their communities, they are demonstrating the value of education and inspiring a societal shift toward the fairer distribution of opportunity and resources. Through girls' education, women leadership, we are tackling poverty and all the resulting of interconnected injustice, such as exclusion from education. Okay, this I'm thinking GED for homeboy industry, so that's definitely completely different from homeboy industry. Different needs, different solution. Okay, gender inequality. Okay, gender-based violence, child marriage, teenage pregnancy, hunger and malnutrition, HIV, AIDS, and malaria, unemployment. Yeah, completely different. Okay, completely different. All right, when girls succeed and women lead, everything changes. Young women educated with CAMFED support can join our peer support and leadership network, CAMFED Association. Together, they spearheaded CAMFED's program and movement, changing the status quo for women and girls in their communities, nation, and beyond. Okay, 254,000 CAMFED Association of Women Leaders educated with CAMFED support is, wow, 254,470 strong and counting as more young women join to act on behalf of girls and their communities. That's huge. Okay, 68,761 leaders in the CAMFED Association belong to decision-making bodies. Very interesting. Changing the status quo for women and girls. Very good. 95,274 members of the CAMFED Association have started a business so far, helping to support their own families, sending more girls to school, providing employment, and challenging gender norms. Very good. Okay, the best mind to address local issues are those with an intimate understanding of the challenges the most marginalized and their communities face. Read the stories. Okay, there's stories about each one of these. All right, go on the website, you could learn more. They look very interesting, but I don't want to make this video too long. Okay, so let's go back again. Economic climate action. Let's see what they're doing. Okay, that article that I just read, part of it from People magazine regarding the Chelsea Garden Show thing. Let's see if they mention it here. Girls' education for climate action. Investing in girls' education and women leadership is one of the most powerful ways of tackling climate emergency. Girls' education is the starting point for securing the right of women and girls globally. Let's just hope they don't turn like some women in the US, developed countries, where you would have thought that once they get a position of power to make decision, they will help further advance anything that makes sense. Okay, I'm not saying just to be somewhat biased and all of that, but things that make sense, where you will advance women's right, women to choose whatever they, you know, of their bodies. But when you look at in the United States, they joining some of the men to prevent women from getting necessary abortion, you know, this kind of thing. That's what crossed my mind. Okay, educating girls also unlocks women's leadership for effective concrete climate action and helps build more resilient communities that are equipped to tackle the effect of climate change. If we want to see a drastic movement on the health and wealth of entire nation and our society's ability to face the impact of climate change, we need to make sure that women and girls have equitable access to quality education. This equips girls and women with the information, skills, and resources to lead climate action at multiple levels, protecting themselves, definitely, and their families, nurturing climate-smart farms and businesses, and bringing their powerful voices to decision-making at the family, community, national, and global level. Yep, definitely. Girls' education and climate action. Our young women leaders have lived the hunger and anxiety caused by extreme and unpredictable weather. We've seen how the climate crisis disproportionately impacts women and pushes more girls out of school. We know what it takes for communities to thrive and for girls and young women to be seen and heard. We are determined to support millions for girls to go to school and to grow up to become the next generation of climate leaders. Together with you, we can grow an equitable future. There's more here. Why climate action start with girls. Very interesting. Okay. Investing in girls' education is one of the most powerful ways to tackle the climate emergency.
So when a 6-year-old says to you that your country is ruining theirs, what do you do or say?
Agree with them slightly. Look, I mean, look, we all know the issues that are out there, you know, with the climate and the environmental issues, and it's, I don't want to say it's refreshing, but it is nice to know that kids that young have an appreciation and understanding greater than some of the people who have been on this planet for 60, 70 years. So I think without credit, I mean, I've been a pessimist many times because of the work that we end up doing. You can be surrounded by negativity sometimes. But as I said just now, the younger generation of the world has turned me into an optimist, because they are the best connected, the most passionate generation that I think that we've ever had. And what we need to do is be able to create a platform so that they can be heard, because they have the solutions to some of the world's biggest problems.
Evolution. This is the future.